Howdy YouTube. I just wanted to share some tips, tricks, techniques I've come up with. Nothing's original in the world. Somebody sure thought of it before I did. But anyway, happens to the best of us. Occasionally we get a small leak at the back of our intake manifolds on our small block Chevys, usually right around these corners. But in this case I got a little leak right here. Well, I could have squirted some more silicone in there, put a vacuum in the valve cover and done that sort of thing. I don't know how well that works, but as pain in the neck it is to have to pull everything apart and redo it. There are worse things in the world. For me, aluminum heads, depending on how hard the aluminum is, these are 356 T6 aluminum, which is pretty hard. These are made by ProMax Performance. They're pretty decent budget heads. Not a bad idea with any budget head out of the box. Have somebody go through it if you're not a head specialist. Just to make sure you're okay before you bolt them on. Anyway, what I use is basically this. Your thumbnail and a little towel to catch it. It's a little bit tedious, but as you go along, you'll get to something like this, at which time you are ready for a brass brush. On the right is a brass one, on the left is a steel one. The steel one will be used for your china walls. And for those, what you want to do is to brush away from the center in a brisk fashion. Of course, you'll want to have something in this area to catch any shavings that you've got that come off. I've already done the front one. And in addition to that, we also have a small handheld vacuum. Is a really good thing to have. Just in case you drop something in an intake or a water port, you do this. Yeah, if you got headphones on, sorry about blowing your ears out. Anyway, your brass brush will be softer than this 356 T6 aluminum, so you can scrub it to your heart's content without worrying about damaging it. Again, you'll want to have your towel or whatever you've got underneath that to catch any debris, so you can gently fold it up, take it somewhere else, dump it out, and come back and start over. So over here, we'll just do this a little bit. You can see that, well, that's a little bit of residue is coming off there, and it's not harming the aluminum, and it's falling right down into our little towel. If you've also got any silicate buildup, spots like this, it turns that into a nice fine white powder for you. It would take care of it as well. And again, drop it on your towel. What I've got back here in the back is a couple paper towels to cover up the distributor hole and the oil drain back holes. That black thing is a rear cam plug from a Volvo engine. Just kind of happened to be handy. I thought, well, something a little bit of extra weight, about the right size to cover up that distributor hole. So, after you get everything off, you can see I've done this side. You want to go back and you want to clean that very, very thoroughly with something you can get at Walmart for about $3. This right here. And if you fellas that like to paint your nails, this will take it right off. So you might want to take off your fingernail polish, boys, before you use something like this, because that is the key ingredient in your daughter's fingernail polish remover. And once you get done wiping that down, you'll want to, again, wipe this with paper towel, lint-free cloth, whatever you got. An old t-shirt made out of 100% cotton is probably the best thing. It's not going to shed very much, and won't get anything down here in the lifter valley. Before I get set up, one of the first things I do is take a couple paper towels and go through and just kind of soak up any motor oil that's in these pockets. So if I do drop any of this stuff down in there, I can use my vacuum cleaner without trying to suck up a bunch of oil. It just helps. That way you don't have to be paranoid about dropping crumbs in there, although you really want to keep that to a minimum. That's why this is here. and you're going slow. It's tedious, and you're doing it with your basically a thumbnail to get the bulk of it off until you can come back with a brush. But you're really going to get a good result, and that acetone is going to get your mating surfaces really, really extremely clean. And you want to do that over and over and over again until you come back with a very clean, nothing on it cloth. At which point you're ready to set back up and put your gaskets on, tack them, let them dry a little bit, then lay down your beads of silicone front and rear china walls. Be sure and get that bead of silicone up to right about here. Just want to make sure that you get this gap kind of filled in. Doesn't hurt to take a little dab and just smear it in there really good a couple times before you get the RTV on the china wall, because it helps to seal that gap, any kind of crack you've got between the cylinder head and that china wall, where you can have oil riding the edge of your head gasket through that crack if it's not filled well. I think that's what happened to me this time. Hate to admit it. Happens to the best of us. So that's why I'm redoing this. Pretty soon, only about 150 miles after this build. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's something to do during coronavirus days. Stay home, stay indoors, find something to do. Go dig up your bushes, put them in the backyard, dig up the bushes in the backyard and put them in the front yard. Keep your neighbors on their toes. What's he doing? Anyway, just thought I'd share that. Again, that's acetone, a brass brush for your aluminum, and your steel brush for your china walls. Take your time, be careful, and you'll get a good result. I think I'll make another one here in a few minutes, give you a tour of the Holley projection intake I use for this throttle body build. But thanks for watching.